Peace, 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 peace. What's happening? What's happening? Let me send this out real quick. A little bit early. As I tell my son sometimes, if you're early, you're on time. You're on time, you're late. So always be early. Always be great. We are live. Boop, boop, bam. Okay. We live with that. Let me get this situated over here. Bam. Islam, peace, peace, peace. Bam. Oh, snap, my notebook. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Oh, wait. I got him. Ha-ha. Ha-ha. I'm on it. I was ahead of the curve. Chapter 12. Peace, 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 peace. How you doing on this beautiful Sunday? I'm not sure how it is where you are. I'm out in Oakland, California territory, and it is amazing outside today. Had me a nice run this morning. Feeling amazing. I hope you're feeling amazing. And if the weather is not, as beautiful, I still hope you appreciate the rain, appreciate, what I mean, the clouds, whatever kind of weather you got going on. We're about to get into chapter 12 out of the Holy Koran of the Moorish Temple of America, also known as the Holy Quran Circle 7, divinely prepared by Noble Drew Ali. This is the Moorish Koran class. Basically, read through the chapter, identify some key characters, locations if they talk about it, key words and phrases that we don't know. Ask some questions about the chapter, and this one particular question on the last line of this chapter that I'm going to ask you that I don't even have the answer for. This is something that I think about every time that I read this line. I'm like, man, what is so I want to put the question to everybody else. Get your mind going and just help us to understand better the Quran. The link. Bang. Peace. Oh, yeah, I'm speaking low right now. It's not a volume thing. My fault. I've always spoken low my whole life. I don't want to be yelling at people, which is hilarious because my son don't know how to stay there. Like, he just, golly, what? Always yelling. Control your voice, Ken. Control your voice. You'll learn. So that's the link to chapter 12. You can read online, follow along. All right, boom. And this chapter is titled, Jesus teaches the common people at a spring, tells them how to obtain eternal happiness. Chapter 12. In silent meditation, Jesus sat beside a flowing spring. It was a holy day, and many people of the servant caste were near the place. And Jesus saw the hard, drawn lines of toil on every brow, in every hand. There was no look of joy in any face. Not one of all the group could think of anything but toil. And Jesus spoke to one and said, "Why are you all so sad? Have you no happiness in life?" The man replied, "We scarcely know the meaning of that word. We toil to live and hope for nothing else but toil. And bless the day when we can cease our toil and lay down and rest in Buddha's city of the dead." And Jesus' heart was stirred with pity and with love for these poor toilers. And he said, "Toil should not make a person sad. Men should be happiest when they toil. When hope and love are back of toil, then all of life is filled with joy and peace. And this is heaven." Message. Do you not know that such a heaven is for you? The man replied, "Of heaven we have heard, but it is so far away, and we must live so many lives before we reach that place." And Jesus said, "My brother, man, your thoughts are wrong. Your heaven is not far away. It is not a place of metes and bounds. It is not a country to be reached. It is a state of mind. Allah never made a heaven for man. Allah never made a hell. We are creators and make our own. Now cease to seek for heaven in the sky and just open up the windows of your hearts, and like a flood of light, a heaven will come and bring a boundless joy. And then the toil will be no cruel task." The people were amazed and gathered close to hear this strange young master speak, imploring him to tell them more about the Father God, Allah, about the heaven that men can make on earth, about the boundless joy. And Jesus spake a parable. He said, "A certain man possessed a field. The soil was hard and poor. By constant toil, he scarcely could provide food to keep his family from want. And one day a miner who could see beneath the soil, in passing on his way, saw this poor man in his unfruitful field. He called the weary toiler and said, 'My brother, know you not that just below the surface of your barren field, rich treasures lie concealed? You plow and sow and reap in a scanty way, and day by day you tread upon a mine of gold and precious stones. This wealth lies not upon the surface of the ground, but if you would dig away the rocky soil and delve deep into the earth, you need no longer till the soil for naught.' The man believed. The miner surely knows, and I will find the treasures hidden in my field." And then he dug away the rocky soil, and deep down in the earth he found a mine of gold. And Jesus said, "The sons of men are toiling hard on desert plains and burning sands and rocky soils, and are doing what their fathers did, not dreaming that they can do aught else. Behold, a master comes and tells them of a hidden wealth, that underneath the rocky soil of carnal things are treasures that no man can count, that in the heart the richest gems abound, that he who wills may open the door and find them all." And then the people said, "Make known to us the way that we may find the wealth that lies within the heart." And Jesus opened the way, and the toilers saw another side of life, and toil became a joy. This is one of my favorite chapters, man. Jesus was dropping them jewels on them, boy. So let's get to the characters real quick. See who's up in this thing. We got Allah up in here. You know, we got Jesus up in this thing. It was a servant, the servant cast of people. Okay. It was a miner. Toilers. We just put toilers in general. You know what I mean? poor toilers. But that's really it. You know what I mean? He's really just talking to the peoples. You know what I mean? He's talking to the peoples, the servant caste peoples, the poor people. That's who Jesus, he was. So just understand this location beside a flowing spring, he was meditating. That's very key. And it was a holy day, so it's a Friday. So he was meditating on a Friday near a spring, you know what I mean, some water. Noticed a bunch of the poor people that's working real hard. Yeah, and it doesn't, I mean, it kind of gives a hint to maybe around where he's at, because when he's talking to the people, it said that they scarcely know the meaning of happiness. We toil to live and hope for nothing else but toil, and bless the day when we can cease our toil and lay down and rest in Buddha's city of the dead. So it's kind of hinting that he still may be in the East, probably in India somewhere. And also that it's used the word caste. India had a caste system. So you can infer, you know what I mean, my children, when they learn to read the context clues, you may be able to infer that he still may be in India somewhere. But it doesn't give an exact location. And the location for this lesson isn't necessarily key, because it's not about a place of meets and bounds. It's not about a country. You know what I mean? The heaven is a state of mind. And also, what's not said, but what can be inferred, is that hell is a state of mind also. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's talk about it though. Key words: caste, caste. I want you to look that up. What was another word that I had seen? Scanty, SCANTY, toil. We're gonna look. You know, these are some words you may know them, but or you may have an idea, but it's, you know, for this chapter, it's very important to just double check and look up, not just this chapter, with this book, to just double check these words and just make sure that you have a good understanding of what's being said. Caste, toil, scanty. You could put meditation in there. You know what I mean? We have an idea, but just double check. Just double check. It never hurts. Just brush up on it. You know what I mean? Happiness, because the chapter is about eternal happiness. So, you know, we might want to understand, we understand eternal. But happiness, just double check and see what happiness means. You may, if you don't know what barren means, BARREN. Meets and bounds. Heaven is not a place of meets and bounds. That phrase, meets and bounds, might not know what that means, so just double check on what that means. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty good. And then the questions that we gotta ask ourselves. Gotta ask yourself some questions when reading this. What are the key messages in this chapter? Does anything in this chapter affect you today? Does it play a role in your life or somebody that you know? But before, to get some clarification, bam. We'll get to that question in a minute. Just to get some definitions on the table. The Oxford Dictionary. Pull this out real quick. I wanted to look up the word toil. Look up the word toil, because he's speaking to people that are toiling, the poor toilers. Just make sure we understand. Toil, work extremely hard or incessantly. We toiled away. Richard toiled to build his editorial team. Moved slowly and with difficulty. Exhausting physical labor. Got it. Mm. And then the etymology from Anglo-Norman French, toilers, strive, dispute, toil, confusion. Latin, tudicolare, stir around. Got it. But the key on that one is exhausting physical labor, and he's speaking to a servant cast of people. So it makes sense that these people is just doing exhausting physical. That's all they just working every day, and that's what they saying. It's like, man, this happiness you talking about. Ugh, we'll be happy when we done work and we can go be on to the next life. It's all we know. All we doing is just work to live. Work, 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 work to live. Um, you know. So understanding who he's speaking to, that helps toil. And then I wanted to look up scanty also. Scanty. Scapula, scandals, scanner, scant, scanty, scanty. And this is coming from the line scanty. It was speaking about the weary toiler, and he was saying that you plow and sow and reap in a scanty way, and day by day you tread upon a mine of gold and precious stones. And scanty is a small or insufficient in quantity or amount. So not, scant is barely sufficient or adequate, barely amounting to a specified number or quantity. Got it. Deal with inadequately neglect. Got it. So the person, when the miner came upon a dude with the field, he was like, you're not doing it sufficiently. You know what I mean? You just doing it on the surface level. You really got to dig deep into that soil. But if you do the work, if you do that hard work and dig deep up into that soil, oh man, you find some gold, boy. We got a lot of gems over there. I'm just trying to let you know. And the person with the field, the one that was working hard, but never, and it says that, this person was constant toil. He could scarcely provide food to keep his family from want. So he barely putting food on the table. So he like, man, this dude just gave me some advice. I'm gonna listen to, because he a miner. That's what he do. He be digging. So he probably know. I'm gonna go ahead and listen to him. And he started digging deep, and he said he dug away the rocky soil, and deep down in the earth he found a mine of gold. But that's a parable. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of this chapter for me. That's a parable I feel that can be applied in many different ways. They can be applied to so-called black people in our work in seeing things as civil rights, right? And day by day, we working hard, digging at civil rights, just on the surface level. But if we dig deep and get into that human rights, oh my goodness, we'll find a mine of gold up in them human rights. But if we just digging on that surface level of civil rights, we barely going, you know what I mean? But then you could take that on just a metaphor in the sense of doing the work, to uplift yourself or to change yourself and to be more positive. You know what I mean? And, I'll speak on myself, for example. When I first started, striving to be more conscious, I wanted to change my language and say to just people that I saw, oh, sister, what's going on, brother? And make it feel genuine. Because I would see Cornel West. This is who inspired it. I would see Cornel West, and whoever he's talking about, he'd be like, oh, dear brother, dear sister. But he mean it, though. You know what I mean? Even when he disagree with somebody adamantly, they're like, oh, sister, now, I'm a Christian now. You know what I mean? And then he'll go in. But the love, I can see that there's a love there in connecting. So I was like, man, I want to get on that level. And when I first started, I would say, "Oh, what's up, brother?" But inside, I'm like, man, this feels fake. I feel corny. You know what I mean? Inside, I still needed to do a lot of work. Inside, I was still, having some negative, thoughts. And, so yeah, I had to dig deep. You know what I mean? Not just the surface level and just what I'm talking about, but what you feel on the inside, what you thinking on the inside. Dig deep. You know what I mean? So I was just breaking that down in terms of the layers. Um, One question that I wanted to ask y'all about this chapter that I spoke about earlier, and then I can get to some questions, um, is the last line, the last couple lines. Um, it says that in the heart the richest gems abound, that he who wills may open the door and find them all. And the people said, make known to us the way, that we may find the wealth that lies within the heart. That last line, and Jesus opened up the way, and the toilers saw another side of life, and toil became a joy. The question I have for myself, I have for you. What is the way? Jesus opened up the way. What is the way? I don't know. That's the question for you watching. You know what I mean? Anybody out there? Um, Christians especially, you know what I mean? Noble Drali in the Oral Statements and Prophecies book, I believe it's in the Oral Statements and Prophecy book. It says that some of our best Moors are still in the church. And I believe, or it's my opinion, that the meaning of that is that, our brothers and sisters that are in the church and that study the Bible and know that thing backwards and forwards, frontwards and upwards and downwards, phrases like Jesus opened the way. I feel like someone who has more knowledge about, Jesus and the Bible will have a better understanding of what the way is. Because I don't know. I'm ignorant of the Bible in that sense. I'm studying, but, it's things like that. And also to recognize that this book here, excuse me, I'm a little hungry. But this book here is only the missing part of Jesus' life. And so it's important also, should grab a napkin. It's important also for us to read the Bible and to read the Quran to know about Jesus' whole life. Because, this is just like, matter of fact, a great analogy. I just started over Naruto Shippuden anime show. And so it's Naruto Shippuden, and that's the series, but then there's the pre-series before that, which is just Naruto. And Naruto Shippuden starts when Naruto's coming back from training. You know what I mean? He lightweight kind of elevated now. He been through some things, some years he's been through. And it's a great series from that point. But you need that backstory. You need to really understand the whole thing to truly understand, well, who is this Sasuke dude they talking about? You know what I mean? And why is everybody liking Naruto like that? You know what I mean? He just come back from the village. Who is he? You know what I mean? And in the same analogy, Jesus is amazing in here. But it's important for us to understand the backstory, to get a really good context and understanding of what's going on. So as Moorish Americans, Muslims, it's important to not think that your only task is just to study this. And I'll close out with this. Excuse me, I'll eat, man. My stomach is growling. The last line in this book is very important to me. It says, we honor all the true and divine prophets. And to honor all the true and divine prophets, to honor somebody, it's kind of important to know about them. You know what I mean? It's like, how you gonna honor anyone? How you gonna honor, you know, how you let's say who we gonna say? How you honor Drew Ali and you don't know what he did and what he stood for? You know what I mean? Let's say, how would you do that? How do you display that you're honoring somebody if you don't even know what they're about? So you got to know what they're about, what they're teaching. So all the prophets, not just Drew Ali, not just Jesus, not just Muhammad, not just Buddha, and not just Confucius, but all the true and divine prophets. And that means it's a lot of studying we got to do. The question, do you believe the Bible is set? I'm in America. Do you believe the Bible is set? I'm in America because some verses describe American locations. Oh, do you believe the Bible is set in America because some verses describe American locations? I don't know. I'm not very well studied on the Bible, so I don't know. This is quite possible. You know what I mean? I think more than believing, I would say to work to find the evidence of it. You know what I mean? Find the evidence to see what it is. And don't go looking for facts to confirm what you believe, but look for the evidence and see what the evidence says. I think we should apply that kind of mentality to everything that we're doing. You know, don't look for stuff to confirm what you're already believing. Just look for the evidence. What is this Moorish information about? What is this Noble Drew Ali person? Just look for the evidence. Is he a prophet? See for yourself. You never know. But he teaches that man knows nothing by being told. Because if I'm telling you, you just believing what I'm telling you, and thus you don't know. On that, I think I'm gonna close out. I don't see any other questions. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. Next week is chapter 13. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you very much. Keep shining, keep studying. And most importantly, it was something I wanted to close out with this chapter about. I'm tripping. It says, I meant to highlight this line. I'm tripping. Sorry about that. Toil should not make a person sad. So exhausting physical labor should not make a person sad. Hard work should not make a person sad. Men should be happiest, men and women, people should be happiest when they work hard, when they do exhaustive physical labor. When hope and love are back of this hard work. When hope and love are back. So when hope and love are behind the physical exhaustive labor, the hard work, when hope and love are behind that, then all of life is filled with joy and peace. And this is heaven. I wanted to highlight that line because this is clearly letting us know a way for us to have, some heaven on earth, even if you are of the servant caste, even if you are having to do exhaustive physical labor. Well, how do you do that, Rami? That sounds like a load of, you know what I mean? I'm broke as a joke. It ain't funny. So how explain to me how me working, doubles 7 days a week, how that's supposed to be heaven? I ain't feeling it, Rami. I feel you. Listen. I was reading this, and it made me think back on just all the amount of jobs I done had. You know what I mean? whew, I done had like a good, I would say 10, 10 plus different jobs. Yeah, probably closer to 15. Um, all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean? Working for FedEx, grocery store, pharmaceutical company, babysitting, assistant to my partner that was a chef, work on a producer assistant on movie sets, um, uh, chauffeur, limousine driver. You know what I mean? I done had a lot of worked at a milk producing company. I done worked a lot of places, and it was definitely times and portions of my life where that work was not fun or joyous or happy or heavenly at all. It didn't feel that way at all. But when I read this and I started to think about things, the times and the jobs um, where the love was there, like when I worked at FedEx, and I had it was this I worked with a crew of people, like maybe 30 of us, you know what I mean? And there was an older crew that, like a elder veteran crew. Then it was the young crew, you know what I mean? And every day, I mean, the work was hard and we was definitely not getting paid what we should have been getting paid. It was real dangerous and I was exhausted, all of that. But it was love there, man. My man Ducky, we'd be freestyling. We had the bass on everything. Um, and it really didn't feel like work. It felt like I was just coming to kick it with my peoples. And I didn't know anything about this then. Um, and when I think back, like that was not heaven in the sense, maybe that we may have imagined it, but in a sense of working at a job, it was real effortless. Um, and I think that if we apply this philosophy, when you put hope and love behind the hard work that you're doing, um, and if you seek for some sort of hope or some sort of lesson in the hard work that you're doing, you know what I mean? Even if you know, the work itself is not the best. Um, I think that is where you find the true gems. Um, like uh, me working, for the limousine company. Oftentimes, I'm driving around a lot of rich European people. You know what I mean? And there's part of me that's like, I'm not feeling this not one bit. You know, um, but I also was like, one, I need the money, so I had to get to it. But beyond that, I was, it started to expose me to things that I never saw, um, people and conversations I never talked about before. Um, and I also realized I was affecting a lot of people that probably never interacted with somebody like me before. And I ain't even have to, I ain't even have to hit them with the super Moors, blah, 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 blah. Just regular conversation. Um, and I feel like if you can seek, for some type of, that glass half full. I know it seems like a really cliche thing, but if you can put the hope and the love behind the work that you're doing, whatever kind of work that you're doing, um, hopefully not the legal kind, you know what I mean? But whatever kind of work that you're doing, if you can put some hope and love into that, um, I feel like that's where you can really get the gems out of it. That's where you can really find the beauty in it. You know what I mean? Even if your situation isn't the best at the moment. Um, so I just wanted to share that with you. But study the Quran, study what Noble Drew Ali taught. Uh, Most importantly, love instead of hate. That is the way. That is the key. Ah. Oh, peace, peace, peace. Salam. Peace, peace, peace.